Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to our first ever regular meeting of the Climate and Infrastructure Committee for January 18th, 2024. I am Katie Cashman and I am the chair of this committee. So at this time, I will ask the clerk to call the roll so we can verify a quorum for this meeting.
Councilmember Payne is not on this committee.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, there we go. Councilmember Vita.
Present.
Councilmember Osman.
Present.
Councilmember Chavez.
Present.
Councilmember Chowdhury.
Present.
Vice Chair Koski.
Present.
And Chair Cashman.
Present.
There are 6 members present.
Okay, let the record reflect that we do have a quorum. And before we get started with our agenda, I do want to talk through the scope of this committee. So the Climate and Infrastructure Committee is new, previously Public Works Committee, and we are now moving to add sustainability items into this committee and to reflect our commitment to climate action as a city, in which we made a historic investment this last year. And so the scope of this committee is exercising oversight and evaluation on all matters related to community infrastructure, the shared grid, policies, and programming related to the built environment, including climate resilience, sustainability, transportation, public works, traffic management, broadband, utilities, special service districts and assessments, bike and pedestrian programming, recycling, solid waste and zero waste measures, severe weather mitigation and response, and appeals relating to block events and encroachment permits. So just wanted to get through that and to acknowledge the name change of the committee there. All right, so with that, we'll move to our consent agenda. And there are 11 items on the consent agenda, which I will read for the record. Number 1, referring to staff the traffic zones ordinance, which was introduced and referred to this committee at the council's organizational meeting on January 8th. Number 2, an application for the Great Northern Ice Bar event permit, January 26th through 28th and January 31st through February 4th on Nicollet Mall. Number 3, agreement with Minnehaha Creek Watershed District for programmatic maintenance. Number 4, contract with Hennepin County for waste disposal services. Number 5, contract amendment to agreement with Hennepin County to offset organics tipping fees paid by the city for processing of organics collected through the organics recycling program. Number 6, a resolution amending the appropriation for the North Transfer Station Revitalization Project. Number 7, update and mobility services fee and rate schedule. Number 8, grant application to Metropolitan Council Environmental Services for municipal infiltration and inflow reduction. Number 9, amendments to the 2024 capital appropriations for the Lake at Nicollet reopening project and the Fremont Alley project. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda, or are there any items that anyone would like to pull for further discussion? Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you, Chair Cashman. I'd like to pull out item number 7 for discussion.
I would also like to just mention and make a note on number 4, our contract with Hennepin County for waste disposal services. I look forward to working with our Public Works Department and with the county on our zero waste policy and implementing zero waste solutions for the city. So I just wanted to note that on the item for community members who are also passionate about that area. So I will move approval of the consent agenda, noting that item number 7 has been moved to discussion. Is there any other further discussion? Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Consent agenda is approved. So now moving on to discussion, we'll start with agenda item number 7 that was pulled for discussion. So I think, Councilmember, you can go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Chair Cashman. I see that we have Interim Director of Public Works, Jelly, here with us today. Thank you for being here. I was just wondering if you can give us a brief overview of item number 7, in regards to this fee schedule, what it does, and just want to figure out if there's any impacts to city staff and the public in regards to price increases on parking. Metered parking and then the street municipal parking. I think there are two sections of it.
Good afternoon, Chair Cashman, Councilmember Chavez, Brett Jelly, Interim Director of Public Works. I'm going to invite Tim Drew, who is our parking systems manager, up to the podium to answer your questions.
Thank you.
Drew, I'm the parking system manager for the city of Minneapolis and available to answer questions.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So basically, I was looking through the resolution, and I think the metered parking zones and street municipal parking, there are some increases in the fee there. So I'm just trying to figure out if we can just get a quick overview of one, item number 7, what it does, and then I'm trying to figure out if by increasing the fee schedule, if city staff that park at the half rat in particular are going to pay more on a monthly basis because of this price increase, and just wanted to get a better understanding overall of this schedule.
Thank you, Chair Koski, Councilmember Chavez. For starters, for the parking meters, there are no parking meter increases recommended. They are already in the rate schedule, and we don't have any increases recommended there. Otherwise, these are not increases. I'm sorry, I kind of phrased that the wrong way, but these are the ability to raise the rates if we have to. So to stay competitive at ramps like the Hoff ramp downtown and other ramps and other facilities, this is a maximum that we would charge. We don't have any plans to increase a lot of these rates. And the Hoff ramp specifically, we're not increasing at this time, and we don't have any plans to, but we're already kind of bumping up against that ceiling that we're at, so it allows us to stay competitive with the private ramps and other people charging for parking downtown.
Thank you. I guess a follow-up to that, Chair Cashman, would be, so it's mostly the fee schedule change is mostly so when visitors come, for example, to downtown, it's mostly that the owners can decide to increase the fee, the parking price for that day. I'm just trying to figure out if there is going to be an impact. There's employees that we have in the city that I'm assuming use some of these parking ramps, and I'm trying to figure out if, as a result of this, they're going to have to pay more in the future. So.
Perhaps in the future, if there is, we announce rate increases when we get them. We don't just sporadically change them at any given time. So, for example, the event rates downtown, it's like $40 at the Hoff ramp. If we were to go to $50, it would be something that we would discuss and then we would announce. But we don't fluctuate like that, and especially daily parking. That's a change, and then once we change that, it stays that way. We don't just unilaterally change rates because of the fee schedule. This just allows a ceiling. It's what we can go up to, and usually we do one of these a year, and this just allows us to stay competitive.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's basically just the opportunity to raise the rate in the future, but it's not necessarily happening right now.
That's correct.
Okay. Do you have another question on that?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. There was an item for last year that we have discussed and that had a lot of time of discussion, and that included meter being raised. Now you mentioned that the meters will not be raised, and this is just talking about the ramp. We're giving you permission to raise, but if you decide to raise, will you come back to us and let us know, and would that require council approval?
Councilmember Koski, Councilmember Osman.
I think we just have our,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
our
I'm
names
off by a
all
little
kind of
bit. I
off.
apologize for that. Yep.
No worries.
But- Councilmember Osman, we may raise metered rates. It's in that fee schedule as well, and there's a ceiling as far as what we can do as far as the meter prices go. We usually write up a to the record letter when we're going to increase rates, so we would let the council member of the ward know that that was going to happen. We don't have any immediate plans at this time, but we may over the year, and that would be within the rate schedule that we're proposing here. And that had stayed the same through this item number 7 or this proposal.
Yes, that does answer my question, and it does include that there might be a meter raised. And just want to put it out there that like a very dense neighborhood in Ward 6 is the one that usually gets affected most. Meters being raised, meters being put in a lot. I know there has to be some kind of way of revenue generation, a way to generate revenue, but it does affect communities, low-income communities in this area. And I will not be supporting any items that will raise meters in those areas at this time. But thank you.
Yeah, so thanks for keeping us in the loop, every time there's writing up a record letter about any parking rate increases. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Chair Cashman.
Thanks so much. Okay, well, is there any other discussion on this item? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Cashman. I'm probably gonna set up a meeting with staff to talk about this more. I do have a few more questions, but I'll take that offline. I'm gonna abstain today, and hopefully we can have a conversation before full council.
So seeing no further discussion, I will move approval of this item. All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, say nay. Okay, so the ayes.
Abstain.
Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Yeah. Okay, so in this case, there are 3 ayes. Clerk?
Chair Cashman, maybe in this case, it would be best to do a roll call
Okay.
to clarify for the record.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Councilmember Vita. Osman.
No.
Chavez.
Abstain.
Chowdhury.
Abstain.
Vice Chair Koski.
Aye.
Chair Cashman.
Aye.
There are 3 ayes, 1 nay, and 2 abstentions.
Okay. Thank you for taking the roll on that, and we'll definitely follow up with the council members who voted against and also who abstained to make sure we have clarity and a way forward. Clerk, can you clarify if this item does move forward?
Yes, Madam Chair, with 3 ayes and 2 abstentions, the motion carries.
Okay. Okay, the motion carries then. So with that, our next item of business, number 10, is a grant for private sewer lateral repairs from Metropolitan Council Environmental Services, and I'll invite Interim Public Works Director Brett Jelly to give that presentation.
Thank you, Chair Cashman, committee members. This is an exciting item and something that's new and I think is going to be very popular. And I would like to invite Ross Jonak, who's the manager of special projects and business support in surface and water and sewers, to present on this item.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Cashman and committee members. My name is Ross Jonak with the Surface Water and Sewers Division of Public Works. I'm here to request council action on accepting a Met Council private sewer lateral grant in the amount of $230,000, authorizing a grant agreement for the funds and passage of the resolution approving appropriation of funds to the Public Works Department. I prepared a brief presentation on this brand new program we are excited to start. The following is a diagram showing what is considered a sanitary sewer private lateral. Key things to note. A homeowner owns their private sewer lateral, including the section in the public right-of-way. Over time, cracks and roots start to develop and the need to replace or repair the private lateral occurs. The cost to do this can vary widely based on location, depth, and length of the private lateral. The majority of repairs that we are aware of cost over $10,000. The following are highlights of the Met Council funding. They are distributing $1.5 million for all the municipalities that served by Met Council that applied to the program. Minneapolis was awarded $230,000 in December. There was a total of 21 municipalities that were awarded funding, ranging from $25,000 to up to the $230,000 that we received. Grant reimbursements is 50% of the eligible cost up to $5,000 or up to $10,000 to property owners meeting the city's equity criteria. And the way Met Council set this up is they allowed the cities and jurisdictions to choose what equity they wanted to have incorporated. And the way the program works is Met Council reimburses the city quarterly after grants are distributed. Jurisdictions were free to design the program that would work best for them. The following are the highlights of this program that we have set up. We have it set up with an online application just to streamline the process so people can get decisions on if they're going to get the grant funding right away. We also have paper available upon request. Homeowners must get 3 bids and use the target market program that the city has set up. I believe there's 17 contractors that are part of that target market program that homeowners can go to. It needs to be an owner-occupied property, so we have removed the properties with landlords or owned by corporations. We're using the CDC's Social Vulnerability Index, SVI, as an equity component. We have properties eligible for the $5,000, $7,500, or $10,000. And my next slide will talk a little bit more about that. The city, we pay the contractor directly for the grant amount awarded, so no money goes to the homeowner, and that helps a lot with not having to deal with tax issues and homeowners having to claim it as income. We expect this funding will allow us to help 30 to 35 homeowners. It varies depending on where how much they're eligible for. The slide says 12 homeowners. As of this morning, it's up to 13, so I already have 13 homeowners who have already inquired and want to apply. And that's really with very, very little outreach. I have a website set up. We've let the target market contractors know about it. 311 knows about it, and then some other internal city departments that might get calls about it know about it. But really, the need is it's out there and it's big. And that's just 13 within the last month. So the website set up for this program has an interactive map to show homeowners how much they'd be eligible to receive. This serves as the equity component of the program. So the light yellow areas of the city are eligible for $5,000 and require a 50% match. The light blue is eligible for $7,500 and requires a 25% match. And the dark blue areas are eligible for up to $10,000 and no match is required. If homeowners choose, they can have the amount they are responsible for covered by assessing to property taxes with a 5, 10, or 15 or 20 year payback period based on the dollar amount. And that assessment program is already something the city's been doing for a while, and it's we have a lot of money each year that go towards that, that property owners choose to do that option. This completes my presentation. I'm happy to respond to any questions Chair Cashman or the committee might have.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you remind me your name?
It's Ross Jonak.
Ross. I do have one question, and then if you put your markers up, I can get you down too. I'm guessing that many of us are going to be telling our constituents about this because it's a really great opportunity. There's a huge need for it. How are you going to decide who gets the money? Not just based on how much they get, but I'm sure it's going to run out at some point. So how will you make that call?
The way we've designed the program is it's not subjective to like them, and what their case might be. It's going to be if they're eligible, then it's a first come first serve. So it's.
Is there like a period for application, or is it really just first come first serve in these coming days?
It'll be first come first serve, and I'm just waiting for your guys' permission to start the program, and then once we have the mayor's signature, I'm ready to go and start taking them right away. And
okay.
Those 13 people I mentioned, they're aware of that, and they're ready to hear from me so that they can put theirs in right away. And some of them already started getting their bids that they're required to get. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Councilmember Vita?
Thank you, Chair Cashman. I just wanted to say this is absolutely wonderful. This is some really good work you've done here. Thank you. I know folks from my ward are going to benefit from this. This is a large amount of money that's going to help a lot of folks who are on the verge of losing their home because of expenses like this keep their homes. And so I'm going to be watching to make sure you have everything you need and can be extremely successful at this. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to my office to help with whatever I can do to keep this going. And as mentioned, it's 30 to 35. We know that as a pilot, we're not going to get everybody, but I would love for us to continue to have conversations about how that number grows because we know the need is there. So thank you so much. Pat yourself on the back. This is great work, and you seem to be excited about, getting us to say yes and getting the mayor to sign off and getting people the services they need. So thank you so very much.
You're welcome. I didn't mention this in the presentation, but we are hoping to get funding again in 2025. It's from Met Council, so it's not 100% up to us, but we do want more funding again and hopefully more.
Are there any other colleagues who want to ask questions to Ross about this program? Oh, Councilmember Chowdhury.
Thank you, Chair Cashman, and thank you, Ross, for the presentation. I echo that this is a really great program, and I'm excited to see who applies, and would love to know, once we see that, what the actual qualitative stories are behind it and what the impact is. I think it would be really helpful for this body to know what that looks like. A question that I do have is, you mentioned that there's already 13 applicants. Could you share a little bit about how you got those 13 applicants, how it's been opened up and advertised so far?
Yeah, so I think part of it is just there's the big need out there, so people are looking for solutions. I think that's one part. And so I have let 311 know, and so as people come in there, they know to reach out to us and to look at the program. I think one of the biggest ways people hear about this, both this and the assessment program that we have, is through those target market program contractors. They're the ones that are out there, the small business owners that are out there, basically talking to people and having the sticker shock, right? Of this is going to cost me how much, and stuff. And so I let them know, I've let them all know, and we'll let them know as soon as it opens up as well. And I think those are probably the two main areas that they've known. But even before I had a website up or had contacted 311, I still had one person reach out, and I think they had found the Met Council website that talked about it, and Met Council had referred them to me. So, yeah. But I will say, though, to finish answering that, is that I do, would love for you guys to also promote it as well. The bad side of that is it probably will run out fast, right? And won't be able to meet the full need that's out there. But
All right. Yeah. Do you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think I will definitely be putting this in my newsletter, and hopefully folks are watching at home and will spread it far and wide. I just wanted to ask one more follow-up in terms of application to the Met Council next time around. Do you have an idea of when that's going to come up on the calendar for asking for more grant money in the future, just so we can be proactive about it?
yeah, they haven't told us exactly when they'll do that. For this year, though, the application the deadline to apply was December 15th. So, and then they let everybody know right after the Christmas weekend how much was being awarded out. So, it was it was kind of towards the end of the year. I think one thing we'll be asking them is if they can move it ahead earlier, and just so that when I come back and we get that grant money again next year, you'll probably be hearing from me in November and December, hopefully, instead of January, and just so we can get running right away. But
Okay, awesome. Noted.
Is there any other discussion on this? Okay. Seeing no further discussion, I'll move approval of this item. Thank you so much, Ross, for being here.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your work. Move approval of this item, which includes acceptance of the grant, authorization of an agreement with the Met Council, and an appropriation resolution. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. The item is forwarded to the City Council with a recommendation to approve. Thank you so much. And we will also get that presentation, a digital copy as well, so we can share that with our constituents, people who are calling in about this.
Chair Cashman, the presentation is now in LIMS. It was just added
Okay.
about half an hour ago, so from the agenda, it can be accessed directly.
Much. And with that, we've concluded all business to come before the committee today. So without objection, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.